Onoe Satoshi works as a journalist for the Weekly Dash. Having always dreamed of being a journalist, he is now in his third year on the job, working in current affairs. Onoe is excited about having his story featured on the cover of the magazine he works for. However, he is disappointed when he finds out that his story has been replaced with the story of Kaburagi Motoharu. He then sees Kaburagi with the assistant, Arya. This makes him more angry. Onoe is reassigned to the stakeout team, where Kaburagi is also a member. Kaburagi is asked to help Onoe settle in. They go on a stakeout together to investigate a suspected love affair involving Asaoka, a popular actress who is known for her many commercials. However, they are unable to get any good pictures before Asaoka manages to escape. Later, Onoe sees Kaburagi with two women at the Teppensakaba Okubo base and questions his behavior since he is already in a relationship with Arya. Kaburagi dismisses his concerns, explaining that the women work for a construction company they are trying to get a scoop on and that he was just getting information. The next day, they are on another stakeout. Onoe asks Kaburagi how he gets his information. Kaburagi explains that he sometimes uses his body, which surprises Onoe. Onoe expresses to his superiors that he would like to be reassigned, but they refuse. Another day passes and they go on the stakeout again. Onoe then discovers that Kaburagi has been researching him. They observe Asaoka with someone named Mano Kosei, who is the leader of the Otsuka group. This connection has been helping Asaoka with her career. Kaburagi is glad about this discovery. Onoe finally receives a positive response from Kaburagi. He feels his heart beat faster. They report their findings to their superiors, who express the need for a photo that clearly shows the affair. Kaburagi takes Onoe to a club named the Butterfly to meet an informant, Kaori, who is also the owner of the club. She reveals that the Otsuka leader, Mano Kosei, has been frequenting the Butterfly Club. Kaori further informs them that the Otsuka group also owns a cafe that Mano Kosei frequents. They head to the cafe with the intention of getting a shot of Asaoka with the Otsuka leader. However, Onoe decides to leave for the Otsuka group's house instead. At the cafe, Kaburagi sees Asaoka on the phone talking to her mother and takes some pictures of her without her knowledge. Meanwhile, at the Otsuka group's house, Onoe waits for the leader, Mano, to come out for a picture. Eventually, Mano does come out, but Onoe has little to none situational awareness as he stalks him. He calls Kaburagi, but unfortunately, he is caught before he can explain anything. Kaburagi eventually finds Onoe's phone, and somehow finds Onoe with the person who had caught him. It was a police officer. They return to the cafe and wait for Mano and Asaoka to exit. When they do, Kaburagi manages to take some pictures of Mano and Asaoka kissing. Onoe presents the article he wrote to his superiors the next day. They are ecstatic about it and comment on how great Onoe and Kaburagi work as a team. Onoe finds Kaburagi outside smoking and they discuss the article. Kaburagi advises Onoe to leave the stakeout team before it starts affecting him as it does Kaburagi. Onoe disagrees, thinking that Kaburagi is not affected by it. Suddenly, Onoe impulsively hugs Kaburagi, but immediately regrets it and apologizes. Later, Onoe confides in Masain about Kaburagi. Masain suggests that Onoe has developed feelings for Kaburagi. Meanwhile, at Kaburagi's place, Kaburagi himself realizes that he is also starting to develop feelings for Onoe. The following day at work, Kaburagi asks about Onoe's whereabouts. His superiors inform him that Onoe has been assigned to desk work as he requested some time for self-reflection. They discover Onoe hiding under a blanket. Later, Onoe witnesses Kaburagi flirting with the assistant, Arya, once again. Feeling a mix of jealousy and frustration, Kaburagi confronts Onoe about his reaction. In a surprising turn of events, Kaburagi tricks Onoe into kissing him, catching Onoe off guard. Kaburagi's superiors assign him a new task to investigate Congressman Sasagawa's tax evasion. They choose Kaburagi for this mission because he is familiar with the place Sasagawa frequents. Onoe is assigned to work with Kaburagi because he has past knowledge with political cases. They meet with the past informant, Kaori, at the club. But she is reserved with the information unless it is payment of the physical type. Kaburagi eventually changes it to money because of Onoe's shock. They meet with Sasagawa's secretary, Suda, under false guise, at a restaurant hotel. Onoe is able to connect with Suda so much so that he wants to talk to Onoe alone. Kaburagi is hesitant but eventually gives in. Suda confides in Onoe, who manages to record the confession. He then attempts to undress Onoe, who resists, prompting Kaburagi to intervene. In the car, Kaburagi scolds Onoe and admits that he might have feelings for him. The next day, during a stakeout at Hotel Wakahe, Onoe attempts to kiss Kaburagi, who remains oblivious. They get the shot and head back to the office. That night Onoe is back at Teppen Sakaba Okubo base. He talks with Masayan about his relationship with Kaburagi, as he is unsure if Kaburagi has romantic feelings for him. The next day Kaburagi is given a new case, and to work with Onoe. The actor Inami K might be dating Haruta Yui, an actress who is 20 years younger than him. They meet with them for an interview. Haruta Yui flirts with Kaburagi. Because of this, Onoe doesn't think Inami K and Haruta Yui are dating. They decide to tail Inami and Haruta separately, with Onoe stalking Inami. But Onoe does a bad job and gets caught. Inami acknowledges knowing about the rumor regarding his supposed relationship with Haruta and denies it. Onoe phones Kaburagi about this. Onoe believes Inami is telling the truth, but Kaburagi thinks that he is lying. Later they meet and Kaburagi gets Onoe his favorite yogurt. The next day, Onoe spies on Inami while he exercises. He talks with Inami about his work, and Inami reveals that he is someone he likes, and it is a guy who is his best friend from high school. Onoe phones Kaburagi about this information, but Kaburagi has information of his own. Kaburagi heard a rumor that Inami connects women with the adult film industry. Once again, Onoe spies on Inami and gets caught. Inami is relieved that Onoe did not reveal that he is in love with his best friend. Onoe calls Kaburagi, expressing his disbelief in the rumors, but Kaburagi remains unconvinced by Inami's innocence. Onoe is determined to find evidence. After work, Onoe has a beer with Inami, while Kaburagi visits Kaori for information. The information is a list of adult film actresses. Kaburagi then walks in on Onoe and Inami and gets jealous. After the final interview, Kaburagi talks to Inami alone. They talk, but things suddenly change between them and Kaburagi shows Inami the list of girls. Inami then threatens Kaburagi with hurting Onoe. Kaburagi then tells Onoe that Inami is innocent, but Onoe finds the list of girls on Kaburagi's desk. Kaburagi then finds out that Onoe is looking into the list. Kaburagi wants to stop the investigation, but Onoe is insistent. This leads to Kaburagi admitting that Inami threatened Onoe. Onoe still wants to continue the investigation. Onoe gets into contact with one of the girls. She explains how she met Inami and how he tricked her into doing the film. Kaburagi and Onoe meet with Inami to inform him that the article about him will be published. Onoe then talks with Inami alone. Onoe is able to piece together that the person running the company is Inukai, the best friend of Inami who he is in love with. Inami then tells the story of his best friend but later admits it is a lie. He advises Onoe to not be so gullible. Onoe and Kaburagi are congratulated by their bosses. Their bosses comment that they do not look excited for the big news. Next, Inami phones Inukai to reveal his feelings for him. In the next episode, Onoe gives Kaburagi a massage. They discuss the prospect of living together. Later, Onoe is assigned a new case. It involves an ex-baseball player, Tamura Yoshimitsu, who started a company with his friend. The company, named Tai Finance, it operates as a finance company, but in reality, it is a phone scam. Onoe is tasked with infiltrating the company and gathering evidence of the fraudulent activities. Onoe takes the role but asks his superiors to keep it a secret from Kaburagi. Onoe goes for the interview. In the same room he sees a scam taking place. Once hired, Onoe secretly records a scam. He shows his superiors the video he recorded and tells them that the CEO Yoshimitsu is in a criminal gang. Onoe and Kaburagi talk about his secret assignment, but Kaburagi seems distant. The two of them are there for the arrest. Kaburagi takes a picture of it. Onoe confronts Kaburagi about his distant behavior. Kaburagi does not like that Onoe is easily able to deceive people, and tells him that they are done working together. That night, Onoe talks with Masayan about Kaburagi. Onoe realizes that Kaburagi fell for him because he doesn't lie and doesn't like people who are arrogant with their work. Onoe spies on Kaburagi and one of his superiors. He tells Kaburagi that the politics team is short-handed and Kaburagi suggests they transfer Onoe there. Because of this, Onoe thinks Kaburagi hates him. Later, one of the superiors sees Onoe is distant with his work. He talks to Kaburagi about Onoe and how he is able to easily deceive people for a scoop. At Teppan Sakaba Okubo base, Onoe gets drunk and Kaburagi arrives to talk with him. They talk about their job and how they were reluctant about it. Onoe admits his feelings for Kaburagi. The next day, things are going good and they are assigned another scoop.